So today's Wednesday, it's day 4 in Huntsville, and we've been to the prison museum today to meet Jim Willett, the ex-warden of the Wolves unit, who was amazing, and he was everything I'd hoped he would be. He was lovely, even though he's witnessed about 89 executions. That's fine, we won't hold that against him. So rather than us talk, we're going to let Jim do the talking, unless, Rachel, there's anything you want to say.
I've gone shy.
Over
to Jim.
Yeah, alright then.
No, what were you going to say?
I was going to say we fly home tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we've our hours in Huntsville are numbered, and it's been interesting.
Love it.
But
Love Huntsville.
Oh, actually, a highlight of today was we went to a boot shop.
Oh my god. Okay, I think we're going to have to put in that image.
We will. Of boots.
Loved them.
And there's nothing left to say, so we'll let Jim do the talking.
Over to you, Jim.
When you were warden, you would go and walk with them into the chamber.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, this is how it happened for me. Well, the news media reported that there was 89. I've never sat down and counted them up, but let's say that's correct.
Yeah.
86 of those fellows happened just about like this. I would go back to the cell right after 6 o'clock to where he was, and I would call him by his last name and tell him it was time to come with me to the next room.
Right.
One of the officers in there, and there would be several officers in there at that time,
Yeah.
would unlock that cell door, and I would call him by his name again, and I'd say, "Follow me." And I turned my back to him. Nobody touched that fella, okay? He walked on his own right behind me. I would walk into the death chamber and get to the other end of the gurney, and I'd turn around and I'd tell him, I'd say, lie down up here with your head at that end. And they did. I mean, it was just that simple.
What happened with the other 3?
One of them told me, he says, I would go back and visit with them when they got to the walls, okay? And one of them told me, he said, I'm not going to walk back there so that y'all can kill me. I'm just not going to, he said, I'm not going to hurt anybody. I'm not going to hit anybody, but I'm not walking back there. And I told the fellow, I said, well, I don't know that I blame you. I might do the same thing if I were you. So we had 2 officers literally went in and picked him up where he was sitting on the bunk and carried him as if he was in a chair. And he laid right down on that bunk, and everything was fine. Had another fellow that told me, he says, I'm not going to try to hurt your officers, but I am going to resist. And he did, and they literally, got a hold of his arms and stuff, and he wasn't much more defensive than the first guy was. And he went on back without incident. And then I had a third one who's actually over there on the other side of that wall is his picture, a guy named Graham, and he fought with all of his might not to go in there.
Right.
Yeah. But the other 86 just walked in there on their own.
This is a real highbrow question. Are you ready? Why is the room painted green? Because it's not a great colour, is it?
The room was blue when I got there.
I've seen those
and it
pictures.
was really faded. It needed to be painted. And it's kind of a long story, but I guess the short answer to your question is I chose that color.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It's back when some of those buildings at the walls were built, back in around 1950. That was at least close to the original colors in some of those buildings.
Oh, okay.
And I was just trying to get back to original.
Yeah.
I mean, if it had been orange, I would have probably went back orange. I mean, it wasn't that I fell in love with turquoise, that color of turquoise, but it was very close to what was in some of those buildings back then.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It was kind of a historical thing.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, okay.